Hey guys, welcome back to Drive It Out. My name is Adam and I'm at the 2020 KC International Auto Show. What I have right here is the 2020 Jaguar F-PACE. Now this is a premium, it's a 30T, so it's got an inline 4-cylinder, but it's been upgraded from the 247 horsepower to the 296 horsepower. So it is a very capable engine under there and going to be really, really fun to drive. Now F-PACE, if you don't know about it, think about the size of about a Porsche Cayenne. That's about the size of what this is. But it's definitely a direct competitor than that. Let's talk a little bit about the styling on this car. Now, I think the front end is very cool, very Jaguar. I like the lights, very cool the way they've done the LED here, and I like the big front grille with that very cool Jaguar logo right there in the middle. It's way, way awesome. We'll come around and we'll end up going to the side here. I love what they've done with the front grille, just a nice touch over here to make it look a little more aggressive, and then the line that follows the top of the headlights and comes down right here, and then you start going down the side here and it's not too overdone. They've got a nice little touch here, but overall they've kept the sides of this very, very clean. I like the line that comes here just below the shoulder of the car and then kind of fades into the car, and then you've got this line up here that starts bringing that line from the hood back along the top of the shoulder of the car and then fades out back here a little bit, and then you get that aggressive curve right here over the rear wheels that really makes it look sporty and very cool. I'm liking the white with the gloss black touches. You have the large panoramic roof up here. You got some black up there as well, and very cool trim here. It's not super chrome, not too in your face. It's got kind of a matte finish to it and just a little dull, and I actually really like it because it fits into this well, and they've done a beautiful curve here where they've resolved the end of the window lines back here on this car. If you go ahead and come around the side and to the back with me, they've got this awesome spoiler that comes over here over the back window, and they've hidden that strip, that nice LED strip, that Cyclops light, that third brake light up there. And very cool how they've wrapped the taillights all the way around, these LED taillights. Now, something interesting about this car, when you open the back, you've got quite a bit of space in here this direction, but man, to have a full-size spare in here, they had to bring the floor up on this thing. And so you've got this big hump here in the middle that you kind of fight with to when you're trying to store things, because again, you've got that full-size spare underneath there, and that's a pretty big wheel and tire, and they couldn't get it down any further in this car, and so you've kind of got that competing with your storage space up here. But still, a decent amount of space. You can always fold down the rear seats and you're going to have more room as well. But if it didn't have that hump there, I would say it would rival the amount of room in the back of a Porsche Cayenne. But if you go ahead and come around the side here, notice that beautiful chrome exhaust in the back. But then when you come around to the side, let's look at the back. The back seat actually has a pretty good amount of room. Now this is an all black interior, but it's a beautiful, beautiful leather. I like the texture in here. You can seat 3 people across the back here, and they're gonna have their own climate controls, and you've got some heated seats back here, which is really cool for your backseat passengers. But let's get here in the driver's seat and see what it's all about. Now, you get in here, I love it. It's reminding you you're in a Jaguar. I like it when the door seals have the script that lights up. I think it's very cool. Now you can see where they've carried some of that gloss black trim and brought it here onto the inside of the car, around your door handle. You've got buttons up here and down here. And they have a very uniquely shaped dash in this car. You get in and it's a lot of cars these days are designing their dashes where it kind of has a flow from one side to the other, and it's kind of all one consistent shape, and they put the screen in there and it kind of fits in along with the lines of the shape of the dash. But here they've stayed very different. The driver's side is very much its own side of the dash with its own features, and it's very, very different from the passenger side, and that is very unique for this car. Now, you get in and you instantly know you're in a little bit sportier of an SUV than your normal SUV. It's got a nice, tight, small steering wheel with these really cool paddle shifters that are mounted to the steering wheel, and I like it. They've got texture back there. Anytime you put texture behind the paddle shifters for feel, a little extra feel, I really like that. So right there at 9 and 3, you've got these really cool paddle shifters if that's how you want to go through the gears on this 8-speed automatic transmission. Other than that, your gear selector in here is a dial. And you've got a few nicely placed buttons here on the center console and some up here for your climate control. But then most of your features and your menus are all going to be on this digital display up here, which has this very cool Jaguar logo on it right now. Now, your start-stop button for this car is also here on the center console. That's kind of a unique spot, but very cool. But you do have a lot of room in here. I feel like I am a decent distance away from my passenger, and I'm kind of in my own space. I'm the captain of the ship right here, and I'm kind of doing my own thing. It'd be a very comfortable car to cruise down the road in, for instance, maybe on a road trip. But lots of good storage here in the middle of this car. Lots of power. You got your USBs and everything you're going to need. And the gauges up here are very cool analog gauges with actually a pretty large digital display in the middle. You can go through all kinds of menu options. Now, what they've done here with the steering wheel controls is pretty unique as well. You know, sometimes you end up with steering wheel controls and they're all just completely flat and you don't really know that you're hitting the right button until you glance down away from the road. And what they've done to combat with that is some companies will do like very textured stuff. They haven't done that here, but what they've done is they designed these buttons where they kind of stick out a little bit so you can feel when you're going button to button, and you're going to be able to memorize these controls really well and really easily, and then you're going to be where you can control everything that's going on here while still keeping your eyes on the road, because you're going to have that feel and that dexterity on these buttons in here. So very cool SUV. It starts at a much lower price than, for instance, a Porsche Cayenne, but you can get so much performance out of this car for an SUV, for being what it is, and I really think it'll still be a really fun car to drive around. So if you're shopping a performance SUV and a luxury SUV, you really need to check out the F-PACE if you've never been in one and if you're unfamiliar. So thank you so much for joining me for this review. I really, really appreciate it. We here at Drive It Out love reviewing cars like this. If you like reviews like this, please hit the subscribe button below the video, and we will see you in the next review.